Hi everyone, no theme today for our vlog. We're just going to go through 6 games that we've been playing recently. You may have heard of them, you may not have. Give you an exposure to what they are. Coming up.
Hi, it's Stella
And Tarrant here.
from Meeple University. Welcome to my tabletop diary. These days I've got Tarrant with me, like all the time. It's like, Tarrant! So hopefully you've been enjoying our previous vlogs. Hopefully you are all well. We are currently in self-isolation. So we've been playing a lot of games. And there are a few days that we want to play like quick little games. So we're going to share you what we've been playing. You may or may not heard these games. These are quite different games, all 6 of them that we're going to share today, but they have different sort of like style of games. So let's start with Dream of Tomorrow.
Dreams of Tomorrow.
Yes, by Weird Giraffe Games.
Yep. So this game is a quick little card gathering game which plays on a rondel.
Yes.
So there's a rondel made of cards which has actions. 3 of them are gaining, I think 4 of them are gaining resources. One of them is gaining cards from a common supply into your hand.
Yes.
One of them is putting them from your hand into your scoring row, which is weaving together a dreamscape. And the other 2 are using actions that are on your on the dreams you've collected.
Yes. It is I really like it because it has got play interaction. I think Weird Giraffe Games has got a thing that they want to do, which is positive player interaction. So whenever, for example, I gain or collect resources, and then other players will also get something which is not as strong as what I get, but it's something, and also it's good interaction, so people keep looking at what's going on the board.
Yep.
Yes.
It means you don't get that situation where players at the table are distracted or on their phones because they're always gaining resources on the side, which is a nice feature. And it's as simple as I gain 4 candles, everyone else gains 2.
Yes. What I don't really I won't say struggling, but throughout the game, I don't really get that actually dream thing. I find that directly explaining what they are is better for me, for my understanding at least. It is like they're trying to come up with some like dreams, which is like weaving the dream, which is great. But I think that's the only thing that I don't really like really into the theme of the game. But I do really like that rondel system where there are some of the cards power that you can move the rondel, which is the cards moving around. So like, oh, okay, that's kind of like some stuff up the opponent's next turn, or opponents does that to you. I really like that mechanics.
Yeah, it's an interesting little puzzle. As I say, the rondel's made out of 4 cards, each of which has 2 actions. And the powers that are on the cards will allow you to take extra moves, or swap with somebody, then move the cards around.
Yes.
And so part of the game is building up a collection of dream cards that give you those abilities, to give you the flexibility to take whatever action you want. But then you also have to eventually weave those into your dreamscape, at which point you lose the power that you had from it. So it's sort of got a ramp up, and then it's got an engine build, and then quickly diminishing your engine while trying to race for the finish, because ultimately it's triggered by someone weaving 5 dreams or 4 in a 6-player game.
You're really good at explaining things. I love it. I mean, I might be biased, but yes. So, Dreams of Tomorrow. Next one. This is a little card game that Tarrant's nerdiness
Little
is...
tile game.
Yeah, tile game. So, Tarrant's nerdiness is really like, oh, like colours.
So, it's a game called CMYK, which printers will recognise as the 4 printing colours.
Yeah.
And
it's a Japanese game as well. I got it from Big Cat Games.
Yep, Japanese game. It's a real-time tile laying game. If you look, I won't pull any tiles out, but you can sort of see it on the front there. There are triangular tiles, each of which on the sides has a blue, yellow and red set of dots, or maybe a stripe. And you're trying to essentially match them up. So you can see on here, hopefully, this is matched up with the 2 red stripes together, and so on around.
So you grab the tiles from the middle.
Yep.
Or reveal it and then put it on your...
Yeah, in real time, you're grabbing tiles from the middle. You're trying to build them into your own network. Mm-hmm. You get points every time you complete a hexagon.
Yes.
And you get objectives.
That's tricky.
You have an objective at the start of the game, and there's a couple of public objectives as well, which you're trying to also build up to gain extra points. And ultimately, when all the tiles are gone, whoever scores the most points in that way wins.
Yeah.
It's real time, but it's not chaotic.
No.
Or at least not with 2 players. Maybe with more hands at the table, it'd get really chaotic. But because you're always sort of focused on your own tasks and the specific matches that you're trying to make.
There's your personal objective as well.
Yeah, it becomes... It's not as if everyone is fighting for the one best item.
Yeah.
You're all building your own things up. So it's a watchful real-time game.
Yeah, it's a really nice...
And it's got a nice Easter egg feature that these tiles, they represent
the colour.
So when you've got a big red stripe and a big yellow stripe and a small blue dot, it represents what that mix of colours would be in light.
Which printers would probably notice that.
Yeah, so you get, it's dark grey when they're all single dot, and it's the white tile is the one that's got 3 stripes. So it's actually light mixing rather than pigment mixing. But
colour nerds. Very good.
Yeah.
Right.
And the ones that you're actually trying to match, the colour of the triangle itself is not important. So as long as you can tell red from blue from yellow, you're good to play the game.
Please write in the comment sections below if you can relate to that, please. So Tarrant can relate to that. You, whatever. Next game is 1906 San Francisco.
Yeah. Small box, but big game.
Oh, yes. It doesn't take a lot of spaces, but it has got good table presence, I guess. It's beautiful. It's based on the 1906 earthquake in San Francisco, where you're trying to rebuild everything after the earthquake, collecting rubbles,
constructing buildings,
yes,
and picking up objective cards to try to combo off what you've been doing.
Yes. It's a really good one as well for 2 players. And the action selection, it's worker placement basically, and it's using cards. So every game is different because you put them at randoms, so you don't know which one that you can go. So it goes like we use a rondel sort of thing.
It's not a rondel, but it's a sequence from turn to turn. So within each round, I think was it 6 cards?
1, 2, 3. I think it's 6, yeah. 6.
And each of the cards has 4 action options on it. And so if you're playing with 4 players, you go and choose the action, and then you'll move to the next card, and whoever took the weakest action on the previous card will get to make the first placement on the next card. So you're constantly... It's one of these games where you're constantly jostling for turn order a couple of turns ahead, because you can see something that you critically need 2 cards down the line, so you know you're going to have to take a bad action next time to make sure you get it.
Yes.
Or you can hedge and see what everyone else is doing to guess that they're not going to do it. So there's certain actions you can't do if you don't have the right resources. So you know that players may not have the ability to go there, so there might not be risks. So it's like that throughout. It's
similar in 2-player games, but you can't pass, I think, in the 2-player game. Yes. So you just have to manage that without that. It plays really well.
It's
and each turn has got you get to the turn orders really matters as well. The bonus that you get, and the each time the building cost is more as well.
The building cost increases through the game, but interestingly, it's there's a very big engine build component in a lot of games these days. Yes. This one doesn't really have it. It stays at a pretty similar pace. It never gets cheaper to make buildings. You never get an increase of
It's
you
not
can't
engine
get something
building.
it's not engine building.
There's order fulfillment, worker placement, sequential worker placement.
Yeah, it's just a constantly tight game of efficiency and game of placement, trying to get the actions you need at the right time.
Yeah, but we liked it. So small box, big game.
And although it's the same company but not the same designer, I believe, as 1987 Channel Tunnel.
Oh yeah, I love that two-player games.
I want a specific two-player game.
Yeah.
It does have a similar. It has a similar feel with the way the objective cards work as well. Yep. So
that's right.
One of your actions will let you gather objective scoring cards. That's an important part of building up your final score and working towards that objective. So yeah, it's a neat little game.
Yep. Next one, we got Contact. This is a cooperative game, plays 2 to 5 players. Yep. So this is recently released by NSV. This is interesting. It's like the mine in a way.
Yeah,
it's got that feeling of the mine.
It's going to be a tough game to explain here without visuals, but it's kind of like two-dimensional The Mind.
Yeah. I'll do visual and B-roll.
Okay. You have some planets scattered out over the table, and you flip a few of them up based on a card draw, and those are the potential destination planets. And then whoever is giving the clues for the round, so there's one clue giver, uses their hand raising up and off the table to represent
how far the
trip.
Yeah. So you might stop at different planets. So you might stop at this planet, so it's really short. So you just like lift your hands up really quickly, just represent that it's a short distance from this planet to another planet, and then longer for long, and then you just decide. The rest of the team will decide.
Yeah. So if there's an obvious route to your destination that's like a short hop, a long hop, and a short hop, you might do that.
Yeah. Yes.
And then your teammates have to look at all the planets on the table, where you start, because your rocket ship says where you start, all the potential destinations, and then work out which one has a route to it that would be short hop, long hop, short hop.
Yes, the good thing as well, there are different levels of difficulties. For families, they can just make it easier or make it a little bit harder for different or more planets to reveal, for example. So you got to work out possibilities to more planets rather than less.
Yeah, and I'd recommend don't start at level 1. I think we started at level 2, which means on each turn there's 3 possible destinations, and we swept the game first try.
Yes.
Got every one of them correct immediately. So I wouldn't unless you need it to just
maybe we're really smart.
Feel how it goes.
Yeah.
I would start on level 4 or 5 or even 6, because I think those early levels
unless you have children
aren't going to give
you
you much of a challenge.
Yeah, unless if it's families, but otherwise for us, we probably start with 4, 5, and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nice,
it was very tough to visualize, I will say, when I was reading the rulebook. Yeah. Very difficult to visualize how it would play. And it was it played a little bit better and a little more fun than it read. Yeah. But it's a different sort of game.
The next one is something that Tarrant really likes. Well, I like as well, but I think you like it better. Well, we both liked it. Treasures of Cibola. Look at how shiny it is. That little thingy in the middle.
This is a very nice game. It's compact, it's short, it's very simple. It has a level of strategy that works for, I think, all age groups. It would work well as a family game, and it would work well among gamers as a filler. So I think it hits all of that really well. Yeah,
it's elegant. It's really really smooth. There's no clunky bits in there.
Yeah, it is essentially a continuous auction sort of game. So each round there's 4 cards that are drafted, and each player bids a number of workers from their hand, and whoever bids the most picks first, whoever bids the second most bids next. And if you bid no workers, then you get to collect all the workers that were in the middle, and that's how you replenish your
workers,
your supply of workers.
Yeah.
And so it's got that whole bluffing thing where, you know, if there's a hand where the worst card in the middle is clearly very bad, that's probably not the time to go and grab more workers.
Yeah.
But if you do, you may get all the workers. It may be it may turn out to be a hand where you can get a lot of workers and really set yourself up for the next few rounds. There are 5 different types of treasures that you're drafting, and they all have a different style.
Yeah.
So there's one where whoever gets the majority scores points. There's one where there's lots of them, but it's only worth a small number of points. There's one where they could be worth negative points or could be worth positive points, depending on how the game goes. Mm-hmm. And then there's one that's just always negative.
The thing that you can get to influence the points of each treasure. So that's a really tricky bit because, you know, you got to look at what opponents have. Really good to play this game.
So that's the other side that there's a track on there. Maybe pull the board out and we can sort of show that. About half the cards have got a stone on it in addition to the treasure. Mm-hmm. And when you get a stone, you get to cover one of the score squares. Mm-hmm. And that ultimately tells you, at the end of the game, there'll be one of these left open on each track. Mm-hmm. And that tells you what they're worth. So there you can see it again. This is a majority. It could be worth as much as 16 or as few as 8, depending on where the stones get put. And there's those snakes that can be worth -2 up to +5. So, there's a lot of...
I think it'll be different.
A lot of tight complexity.
Yeah, it's a little bit different if there's more than 2 players because let's say 4 players, like 2 people might go for the same goal. It's unlikely that will happen in the 2-player games.
Yeah, you said before you thought it was a good 2-player game. Mm. I actually don't agree with that. I think because in the 2-player game you've got 4 cards. There's always 4 cards to draft, and whoever bids the most takes the first and third, and whoever bids second most takes 2 and 4.
Yes.
And
or 2 and 3.
2 and 4.
2 and 4. Okay.
And I felt. I guess it wasn't that much of a penalty when you were doing a low bid.
Right.
So I think for me it would be it would suit the way I think the game's meant to play better at 4-player. Mm-hmm.
I can see
but we still have fun.
I can see more interactions and what you said as well for 4 players. So hopefully we can play this 4 players soon.
Yep. But yeah, it's a really neat little game.
Yeah, it's surprisingly like simple but exciting. So I haven't heard about it like much until I play it. I'm like, oh, it's actually really great.
Yep, well recommended.
Yeah, and last one. It's just a really nice, complex. It's definitely a family game, but I do like it because it's so random and you basically has got a board here, and you do try to put this. What do you call that? That thing that throw goblin on the air.
So it's called Flying Goblins. It's a dexterity game.
Sorry, yes, Flying Goblins.
Dexterity game.
Like, yay!
Where you've got a little catapult and you're flicking goblins at the tower.
Yeah, that's it. And you try to aim unsuccessfully for me to certain things, and you get points or coins, and then you can get more goblins, so you can throw more goblins next time, and then you basically need to collect gems. That's it.
Yep, you need to, so you want to try to flick into a thing that has gems and then you collect those gems. Or you can try to flick up at the top of the tower and knock the king down and that gives you a lot of gems. You can flick it into a spot that has money and then you can spend the money on more goblins so you can do more stuff each round. Mm-hmm. And the other way you can win is to try to build a totem pole on one of the roofs and then hope that no one knocks it down.
And then there's a mechanic where you can rotate the board as well. So you're trying to get hide your totem that you built so that away from other people, and then trying to rotate that so that the totems for other people in front of you, so to try to knock it down.
It was fun. It wasn't completely random. You know, when you imagine people in real time flicking goblins at a tower, it sounds like just complete chaos, and you will fling a goblin across the room and have to go and find it. That's your biggest problem if you're playing this as a family game.
I do like the 2-player games though, because it's like just against you, isolation. It's just like, it's no brainer. It's just filler and just throw goblins at the tower, and you know, you don't feel so sad if you lose because it's just dexterity game and it's luck based.
Yeah.
I'm not good at dexterity. You're better at that.
You can game it a little bit.
Yeah.
As I say, it's not complete random.
Yeah.
You'll get the swing of it, and the rules actually, it's quite nice. It tells you, it gives you goblin flinging tips. If you stand the goblin up on the catapult,
Yeah.
it's going to go higher, and if you lay it down, it's going to go shorter and flatter. So
Depends on where
that's
you
how to
land.
knock people's totems down.
Very good. So that's Flying Goblins.
Yep.
It just released by Yellow. VR Distribution Australia sent it to us. So thank you for that. So yeah, that's those are the games we've been playing. So we've got other games that we play. So if you've got games that we've got like games that still on our shelf of shame, so we haven't played. So if you've got anything that you would recommend to us, maybe good for 2-player game, write in the comment sections below.
Yep.
And it would help us if you like this video and subscribe to us. You can also click the Meeple in the corner. Sometimes it will pop up there, and hit the bell so you won't miss anything. And if you are on social media, I'll be in Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. So I do post a few things on Instagrams, my reviews of board games, and what's coming and what we're playing as well.
Yep.
Yes. So hopefully you enjoy that, and see you next time.